we're all being urged to think carefully about our actions in the coming weeks before Christmas. That's because the number of cases and people in hospital with coronavirus has reached an all-time high in Wales. Speaking at today's Welsh Government press conference, the Chief Medical Officer, Frank Atherton, said the NHS is now under serious pressure and encouraged people to minimise visits to public places like pubs and restaurants and Christmas markets to help slow the spread of the virus. He also repeated calls not to mix with people outside of household bubbles. Neath Port Talbot currently has one of the highest infection rates in the country. Our health correspondent, James Crichton-Smith, spent the day there speaking to people about their fears for the weeks ahead.
Smoke and steam has long filled the air above Port Talbot, but it's COVID that's burning through this community. In the last 7 days, a quarter of all the COVID tests here have come back positive. It's one of the highest rates in Wales. In Tonner, just up the road from the steelworks, we meet 80-year-old Margaret. She lives alone, but is looking forward to the festive period. What are your plans for Christmas?
Hopefully I can go up to my daughter. She only lives 7 doors from me.
You're going to bubble with her?
Yes, hopefully.
And be safe?
Yeah.
In the street nearby is Pauline. She's stuck by the rules. Her husband, who put up the Christmas decorations, is asthmatic and at higher risk. She's at a loss as to why anyone wouldn't stick by the regulations.
I don't understand their mentality, because you really have to be careful. And I mean, I've seen a lot of people on TV and they've been interviewed and they've said, you know, oh, well, we'll just try and carry on as normal as possible. Well, no, not until we've all had the vaccination, or as many people as possible have had it. And I think that's the best way forward, really, now. That's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's quite scary.
2 doors down, Emma's children are off school, self-isolating because of the virus.
We see people on the news going out and about to clubs and pubs and restaurants. We've not done that. We've not gone to restaurants, pubs, clubs, and just generally avoided contact.
But look across Wales at the crowds in Cardiff and Swansea today, and you can see why officials are so worried. Neath Port Talbot's council leader is bracing for the NHS here to tip into emergency capacity.
We can open these field hospitals within 24 hours. That's not an issue. So it's not a case that we haven't planned for it. It's just a case when that button needs to be pressed.
Do you worry that that button will need to be pressed before Christmas?
I hope it won't, but I won't say it's not a possibility.
So it is a possibility that you might have to delve into that extra resource just to manage the influx?
Yes.
And so Wales's top doctor made this appeal.
It's really about how we all act, how the choices that we make are so important at this time over the coming days and weeks, and that's going to define what happens really over the Christmas period and how much we can enjoy Christmas with our families.
There is a real sense that if it isn't already, the situation here and across Wales could spiral out of control in the coming weeks. The Welsh Government, committed to its rules and promises, is putting its trust in the public. But with each day of rising statistics and infection rates, and you look at the behaviour after the fire break, many will be asking whether that trust has been badly, and for some families tragically, misplaced. James Crichton-Smith, ITV News, Neath Port Talbot.